The late afternoon sun bathed Buckingham Palace in a golden haze, casting long shadows across the marbled hallways. From the outside, it was a vision of elegance and tradition, but inside, the air crackled with tension. William's boots clicked sharply on the polished floor as he strode down the corridor, his jaw set like stone. He'd been summoned unexpectedly, but not by the king. No, the message had come through a private channel, one used only in moments of extreme discretion. His mother's voice still echoed in his head, a ghost of years past, urging him to be wary of smiles that hid daggers. Today, that advice seemed prophetic. He stopped before the double oak doors of the drawing room. Two staff members bowed slightly, their eyes betraying nervous curiosity. William pushed the doors open without knocking. Camilla sat inside, a crystal glass of sherry in hand, her expression unreadable. "You wanted to see me." William's voice was clipped, as though each word had been measured and sharpened before release. Camilla's lips curved into a faint smile. "Yes, darling. I think it's time we had a private conversation." That phrase, private conversation, had an odd chill to it. William closed the doors behind him. "About what?" he asked, folding his arms. Camilla swirled the sherry slowly, watching the amber liquid catch the light. "About what you think you know, and what you don't." William's brow furrowed. "This isn't a game." "Oh, but it is," Camilla replied softly. "And you've been playing it all your life, whether you knew it or not." There was a pause so heavy it could have cracked the walls. Outside, the faint hum of distant footsteps seemed to vanish entirely, as though the palace itself was holding its breath. Camilla leaned forward, her voice barely above a whisper. "Your father's reign isn't as secure as you imagine. There are arrangements, long-standing ones, that the public could never know. And if you knew the full extent of them," she let the sentence trail off deliberately. William's fingers tightened into fists. "If you're implying." "I'm not implying," she cut in smoothly. "I'm telling you. There are agreements that keep certain truths buried. And if they were to come to light, it wouldn't just be the monarchy that crumbles, it would be your future." The words sliced through him. Every instinct told him to demand specifics, but something in her tone made him hesitate. It wasn't fear, it was calculation. She was baiting him, and he knew it. "Why tell me this now?" William asked slowly. Camilla set her glass down. "Because you're about to make a mistake. You've been speaking to people you shouldn't, digging into records that were sealed for a reason. If you continue, William, you'll force my hand. And trust me, you won't like the outcome." William took a step closer, his voice low and dangerous. "Are you threatening me?" Camilla met his stare without flinching. "I'm protecting the crown, which, incidentally, means protecting you, even if you don't realize it." For a long moment, neither spoke. Then William turned on his heel and left, his mind a storm of suspicion and fury. But what neither of them realized was that the palace walls, quite literally, had heard it all. Behind the ornate wallpaper of the drawing room was a hidden corridor, a relic of the palace's past, used by servants to move unseen. And at that very moment, a pair of ears, belonging to someone with a penchant for gossip, had taken in every word. By nightfall, whispers would travel faster than any official statement. And William's rage was only just beginning. The next morning, London woke under a heavy blanket of fog, but inside Buckingham Palace, the air was sharper, colder. William had spent the night pacing his private quarters, piecing together scraps of information from years of rumors, half-truths, and buried files. If Camilla's arrangements were real, they could be the very thing his mother had feared. By mid-morning, he was in the archives, a restricted section accessible only with 2 levels of clearance. He'd used his title to override protocol. The archivist, a thin man with trembling hands, brought him a leather-bound folder sealed with red wax. William broke the seal. Inside were letters, decades old, between senior royal advisors and certain political figures. The contents made his blood run cold. Deals, cover-ups, names that should never have been linked to the monarchy. And at the center of several documents, Camilla's signature, bold and unashamed. He slammed the folder shut. It was no longer a matter of speculation. Camilla had been quietly consolidating influence for years, ensuring she was untouchable, even if it meant compromising the monarchy's integrity. That afternoon, William confronted her again, this time in the grand corridor outside the throne room. Staff froze in place as his voice, sharp and controlled, carried down the hall. "I've seen the letters," he said. Camilla's eyes flickered with the smallest hint of surprise, quickly masked. Then you understand why those matters must remain private. Private. William's voice rose. They're treacherous. They're a betrayal of everything this family stands for. Her lips tightened. Don't be naive. The monarchy survives not because of purity, but because of survival. We've all done what was necessary. William stepped closer, his voice dropping to a deadly calm. Necessary is one thing, but you've built a throne for yourself out of lies, and I won't stand for it. Camilla tilted her head. And what will you do? Expose me. Do you truly believe you'd emerge unscathed? Those documents implicate more than just me. They'd destroy your father, and your chance to ever sit on that throne. The words hung in the air, heavy as lead. Then, without warning, William turned and walked away. But his silence was not surrender. He had a plan forming, one that would ensure Camilla's influence collapsed without taking the crown down with it. That night, the same hidden corridor that had carried whispers the day before carried them again. Only now, the whispers came from William's own allies, quietly spreading seeds of doubt about the queen consort's loyalty. Within weeks, public appearances became strained. Paparazzi began asking pointed questions. A leaked photograph of a certain document appeared in an obscure online forum. The palace scrambled to control the narrative, but the damage was done. And in the grand halls of Buckingham Palace, the walls, those silent witnesses to centuries of secrets, stood unchanged. They had heard Camilla's confession, William's fury, and the birth of a plan that might one day shape the monarchy's future. For now, the crown still gleamed under the bright lights. But in the shadows, a storm was quietly gathering, one that would test the loyalty, blood, and survival of every royal who dared to claim it.